Okay, now I know you guys can hear us. There we go. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. So yeah,
Here, I was telling him something.
this camera, if you guys get this camera, it's wonderful for Skype, but for everything else, just throw it away. So yeah, because the drivers that they've just uploaded everything into just do not work. So fantastic. So anyway, we're using the backup for tonight.
All right, so just a little. I'll finish this story if you guys don't mind. So the guys from Caltech gave me a ride, and we had just the best conversation from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. 3.5 hours. We stopped for a delicious Chipotle burrito, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, it's awesome, right on the border. Anyway, one thing that they brought up is that they have friends from the Industrial Design School there,
Yeah.
and they said they could put some lipstick on our pig. That they love the pig, but that they could use some lipstick, and I guess I had to agree that a little well-placed mascara and lipstick would make our printer look even sexier. But reliability first, gorgeousness second. Anyway, so somebody is supposed to meet with me on Thursday afternoon in Los Angeles and show me some renderings. So we'll see. It's possible that we'll get a facelift in the not too distant future on the systems. Until then, I just like that it's solid. And we're having custom extrusions made that will make it look a little bit classier too. And that was one of the things that I inspected last week. So that said, overall, I thought CES was a smash up thing, and I thought because we delivered 4 actual printers that week to the West Coast, I thought that was a big success for it. Not as big as we would like it to have been, but I thought that was pretty good. Any week we get 4 printers actually delivered. Up to now, we feel like we were doing something. So, that said, someone asked me a nice question up here. It says how to teach everybody how to escape the Asian disease quarantine. So I am going to pass a little pointer on you because it may save somebody out there some grief.
And possibly their life and limb.
So here's what happened. I left the show and came back, and Davo had already driven home.
Yeah.
And God bless him, Davo made a superhuman effort. Him and Evgeny drove to Las Vegas with all those printers in the back of the van. And then Davo left on Friday at noon and drove all the way back to Atlanta. And he showed up on Monday for work. I mean, there are lots of words to describe him, but dedicated is a great one. So, Davo, I know you were sicker than a dog because you gave it to me. And
gave it to us.
So we worked a couple days, and then on, I think it was Tuesday evening, I had to leave.
Yep. Yes, you did.
So I flew to Germany, where I had to work for 48 hours. And by the end of my 48 hours, I was not feeling so good. But I got on the plane to Vietnam out of Germany. And about 5 hours before flight time, I realized I was running a pretty high fever. And I thought, oh my God, my luck, they have the thermal cameras turned on at the airport in Bangkok. So I went to the stewardess and I said, please, aspirin. And I knocked down 4 aspirin 2 hours before we landed. My fever broke just about 30 minutes before touchdown. Scooted through customs and, border patrol. Made my connecting flight into Ho Chi Minh. Where I'm happy to report they don't have thermal cameras at this time. Bangkok normally doesn't have them, but if you go through Hong Kong or if you go through Singapore, not only will they pull you off the plane, they will quarantine you. And you can spend 2 weeks there waiting to get over whatever you got. So I'm just grateful that it worked out. Not that being sick in Vietnam was my idea of a party. But I got to tell you, they treated me real nice, and they cooked me this delicious light broth every day for 3 meals a day, and that really helped a lot. So thanks a lot, guys. Ty and Tway, you're the best. Okay, so I knew you guys all wanted to know that. So if you're going to the Orient, don't forget the aspirin, because if you get sick on that flight, you do want to be going through customs in a fever condition. That little camera just, hey, get that guy, jump on him. And they really will pull you over. It's not a question mark. All right. Yeah. So let's see what the next one says.
Ooh.
You need to teach us all how to... Oh, got that one. The Form 1 idea gave me a new... Ken, I think you're going to have more fun with the printer than anybody else on the planet because you've got more great stuff. And I'm dying to help you with some of those things. So when you get this printer, feel free to, put in some requests for apparatus because I feel like you were in a unique position to do unique stuff. Magical specs for the PLA. Okay, I can't tell you about the PLA because I haven't seen them printing with it. That's the guys at Tech. But the PVA, I can give you some hints on. First off is don't try and print PVA in a really small diameter. It is so soft, it just crushes inside the print zone. So I actually opened it up to 0.65 millimeters, the nozzle tip.
Yeah.
And that really made a huge difference. We actually started and printed up a full 1.5 inches, the vase, the twisted vase, with a single column. And it was looking awesome. And it was doing that whole living thing when it was doing it because it was so flexible. It looked like doing the hula dance while it's printing. You guys remember
the plasticine part that we printed?
Right.
Out of that, yeah.
Yeah. So that one came out good. And when we get the hip stuff, you can be sure we're putting together a print manual on all this stuff. A recipe, a cookbook.
Yes.
Whether it applies to other people's printers, we're not worried about that. I think it will help everybody on the planet, but we feel like we want to share this information openly and freely where we can. All of us are in the same boat there. Someone said the Cubex that failed after warranty failed numerous times before warranty. Well, I know our particular experience with that whole 3D Systems group was not a stellar one. And that's been about the most diplomatic statement I ever heard in my life. So I will just leave it for that. I feel sorry for other people if you're having difficulties with it. They're huge companies. They must have done something right. I mean, it doesn't make sense they'd be so big without that. But my experience was less than optimal. Eagle and J. Uh-oh, there goes the audio. Oh, good. We got that fixed.
Yeah.
Let's see. Something about lips moving. Darkness, my old friend. Great. Good stuff. All right. Someone says, don't sell yourself short, guys. Don't take the Stratus's blood money. You know what? I don't see that on the agenda.
No.
I'll tell you why. As much as it's a drain to go to a place like Vietnam, it's never a drain to work with good people. And these are really good people.
Yep.
And just because we're going to do some manufacturing in Vietnam, don't think we've turned our back on America. I love my country, and I try to do things to help it. And the bottom line is that not all manufacturing will be done anywhere. It just doesn't make sense. What does make sense is to have a presence in the Pacific Rim, since that's only about 1/2 of the entire planet's population. People seem to forget that if you just take India and China alone, you're at 2.2 billion people with just those two countries. I found Vietnam to be interesting. It was like going to Mexico. If you've ever been to Guadalajara, where there's no curbs on the roads and they're a little bit dirty, but the people are friendly and it's semi-tropical. That's a very good description of Vietnam, with the exception of you have to add about 40 million mopeds to the picture. And I tell everybody the same thing. They just drive everywhere.
Yeah.
You've never seen anything like this. I've been in so many countries. I've never seen such bizarre skill and lack of crashing. If you want to turn left, you do so blindly and slowly through total oncoming stream of galactic mopeds coming at you. And they all drive about 25. There's no one doing 50. Even if they could do 50, no one does 50. And as you start to go, they just kind of ooze open and ooze close. I mean, it's like, wow, how do they do that without getting killed on every 12 seconds? So it's pretty cool. Anyway, just polishing his nails. So the bottom line is that encourages us a lot. And the other thing is that what it has shipped seems to be working.
Yeah.
And so I'm encouraged by that. And we'll just keep with this. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I would love to tell everybody that we are printing, getting 10 printers a week out. Next week it'll be 20 printers a week. We are still stretched to get 5 printers out in a week. And I think that we might improve on that, and we might not in the next couple of weeks. Our resources are still clicking. We brought in a couple of new people to help, and we're testing some assemblers out. And one of them, Evgeny in particular, has been a huge help.
Yep.
He is a college student that I've known. He's 25. He actually helped drive the printers to Vegas. And I know he had a great time there, so don't feel sorry for him. But the bottom line is that you know, we are still gelling in that area. So as much as I would love to tell everybody your worries are over and 85 printers are shipping tomorrow, that is not the case.
No.
So we're staying with it. We're just going to keep pounding on it till it gets better.
Yeah,
and
nothing's going out today because of the snow.
Yeah,
so.
We have several printers that could go out.
Yeah.
And there'll be several more right behind them.
That's right.
So
let's see. Eagle and Jay, I'm going to, very good, yes, and I will talk to Carl about the spell book and some of the names that that we've been kicking around, that you've been kicking around to us as well, that I think are fantastic. So, and to the person who was asking me, I know because I know you're going to be on this cast or be watching this afterwards, who was asking me about why couldn't HYREL use the name the HYREL and use it and basically call it the HYREL replicator. And the answer why MakerBot's able to do that is because MakerBot does not currently have a license, to my knowledge, from the thing I've seen, to the name replicator, because that's owned by Gene Roddenberry's estate, who, well, came from Star Trek. So so we could actually create a HYREL replicator, but
what's the point, guys? Let's name it the banana.
Yeah. So, but Eagle and Jay, I'm definitely gonna talk over the suggestions that you have with Carl, because I think that would actually it would, yeah, it's very interesting. So, yeah,
way cool
for the newest version. Of printers that we've been picking around.
Well, I'm. You know, in the past, we've shared so openly all the ideas that we were working on. And we did that because we wanted to keep everybody up to date and keep you guys engaged. That has come to bite us just a little tiny bit.
Too much, yeah.
From some of the other people that had decided to build their own printers. But I think that the next rev of the printer is going to be really, really shocking. So I'll just leave it that way. And by the way, it looks like all the System 30s will be retrofittable to the new format. At least one configuration of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just leave it at that. And again, focus is on production at the moment. But I have a whole group of people who are taking a long vacation at the moment, but will be coming back a week from Saturday. Yeah, that's Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Don't ever feel sorry for the Chinese. They get so much vacation time. I'm always jealous. They get 2 full weeks. Someone this morning says, well, that's not the factory workers, that's the owners. I said, it's the factory workers. You can't believe it. There is no one in the factory, not even to sweep the floor this week and next week. It is like, hey, we'll see you guys later. It's Chinese New Year. I've never seen anything like it. They make the Europeans look like hard workers. It's amazing.
I would not go that far. Wow.
I mean, it is close. It's close.
It is close. I will give them that.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Good point. Very, very good point. Yeah. That's a very good point, Eagle and Jay, about linking the name to that. Yeah. And you're right. So, but most people don't even know. I mean, I still had a gentleman who I was talking to today who had no clue what or who they were. Being MakerBot.
Oh, I think there's a lot of people that haven't heard of them. When I talk on the plane, I say, have you ever heard of this company? They're going like, nope, never heard of them. So it just means that the world is still learning what this technology is. And, the truth of it is, I hate to use the word technology. So it sounds like it's so amazing. Wow, let's melt some plastic. Ooh, that's amazing. So, yeah, I think there's room for all of us to keep growing.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to it, actually. I think that's the thing I look forward to. We had an amazing discussion this morning with some material scientists.
Yes.
It was not a scheduled conversation I was going to have, but Hutch jogged my memory, and we had met someone who is a carbon fiber composite expert, and he was a wealth of pointers and information. And as we've mentioned in the past, we're looking at methodologies for laying down carbon fiber in our printer, a printhead that does carbon fiber.
Yep.
And we continue to get closer to that goal.
And David, before you even say anything, I have not shown that article to Carl yet.
Oh,
so
is there something I should know?
Yes, there's somebody out there who has successfully done some carbon fiber printing with their printer.
But it's the carbon fiber little snippets in the material.
No.
Oh, it's a real carbon fiber long string?
It is a real carbon fiber long string, but after we learn what we learned today, it might be the lowest grade stuff.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
That's
still fine.
A start.
Hey, if someone's already doing that, God bless you.
Yep.
I still want to add that capability to our printer.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I mean, the whole idea is to be able to create some more unique structures, and that's really where we're headed to. I don't know how long it'll take, but that's where we're headed to.
Yep.
So there. Eat those bananas. Anyway, let's see.
Yeah, I'll show him.
Okay, I'll have Hutch show me as soon as we get off the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if there's a lot more questions. I think that kind of brings us up to date with what's going on for the last couple of weeks. I am trying to get back to some firmware tonight while I'm still fresh. So we'd be glad to field any questions.
Yep.
Dave and Ken, your printers are sitting right there, and the boxes are right next to them. And unless the snow persists, they will be out tomorrow.
Yep.
We have another 8 printers in the queue, 3 of which I'm sure will get out the door this week.
Yep.
And so that you guys know, and this is my fault, it's not Hutch's fault. The list that had been promised for a long time, be put back on the web. I'm having them pull all the orders right now as we speak. We're going to shuffle them. We're going to get them organized. And then we will post the delivery sequence as it existed. I can't say today, but as it exists on Thursday or Friday of this week. So that will be back on our website for you guys. So you can give us the appropriate thrashing and kudos. It's not fair to you guys that we've gone so long and you have so little visibility. You're always welcome to call or email. I'll always field a call. I'll always answer an email. But we're trying to get this part of it, the visibility, back up and open. So just, I apologize. I actually thought that we had this well in hand before Christmas. We brought in some new staff. They had some emergencies. I didn't realize that it didn't happen. That's completely my shortcoming. So I have taken steps to remedy that, and certainly by this time next week, everybody will see where they are in the actual shipping queue. Yep. And you'll also see that we've actually shipped some printers, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. So your patience has been unbelievable. Your support's been unbelievable. As always, we thank you guys, and again, appreciate it. Let's see what we've got here.
Yeah, Hildrick, thank you for sharing the link, and that is the link to
great,
to the one we were talking about earlier. Yep.
And I will take a look at it. Hildrick, I would like to talk to you sometime in the next week or so, because I'm trying to plan my next trip into Germany. I will be flying into Stuttgart in February. I think it's February 20 or 17, 18, 19, something like that. And I wanted to see if it was possible that we might be able to hook up on that trip. So as we get closer to it, we can make a realistic rendezvous. But I wanted to see if those dates were something that would be interested to you. So that would be a nice thing for us to Skype in and talk to each other.
Yep.
I know you've been a supporter throughout all this, and at times I think you were expecting us to move faster. So when you said you'd like to be one of the last ones, I think you might be rethinking that about now, but we appreciate it. So I just like to touch base with you. I can't do it this week, but if next week you have any time, just shoot me an email and we can Skype in. And I would love to personally talk to you, maybe make a little bit of a tentative plan there. So,
Actually, Charlie, one of the selling points was that the units we were getting would be a base for the designs going forward, so we would never really go out of date.
that's the way we plan it.
We would just be able to add new features based on the comments from a few moments ago on the new ideas, have you strayed from the methodology.
Not at all. Not at all. Everything that we are doing is compatible with this current print design.
Yep.
Every head works in it. I've got, just so you know, we're inspired by laser sintering. Let me put it that way. And already I have 2 materials that work. So we're trying to come up with a little thing that's an add-on for the systems, the System 30s, where you pop off the one cover, you drop in a tray, and the tray has the appropriate thing to allow you to make a vertical pull while using the yoke. And so you can start to get the picture. And just go with that. Just know that it's not going to be fast, but we're trying to add so that people can experiment with this type of a build, this type of a build, this type of a build. And I think that we are so far so good on all those fronts.
Yep.
And there'll be so many different ways to do this. It might take a couple more years. Of course it will for some of this. But I feel like we have not strayed from our
methodology or
our vision. Our vision
yeah.
is simple. Make a basic system that's modular, and you just keep improving and adding new features to it. And those people that are doing basic printing won't care. And those people that are always into the newer, later, greater stuff, universities, tinkers, people who like make their own circuit boards, people who really want to stretch the material science applications, I think that they won't regret this at all.
No.
The new printer, the one that I want to tell you so much about, but he'll stick me in the eye with a sharp stick if I do. It's built in the same chassis and uses similar components, and it would allow you to upgrade into something that would be, and I may say this, up to 8 times faster for large prints.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
That's fine.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So let us prove it first. When we do, it'll be obvious to everybody whether it's a useful fact or whether it's a folly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a useful fact.
Yeah.
But there was one last thing you guys might find interesting, and this one I do like to put out in public. Our good partners in Vietnam have agreed to make a large format printer. It will be 2 meters by 4 meters by 2 meters. That's right. 6 feet by 12 feet by 6 feet tall. And they have the space and the equipment. This is actually more like the type of equipment they build right now.
I know.
So, Kalispell on February 22nd. I got to tell you, Kalispell, Montana on February 22nd is like the last place on earth I'd want to be.
Well, we know they have snow plows. We know they have the right stuff in place.
So, anyway, I thought you guys would find that up to date and good information and see how everything goes. And and just in case everyone's wondering, we have a review all the time, and I did deliver a printer while I was in Europe into Holland, and Ron was nice enough to give me a ride. And Ron, I appreciate that so much. You're a very nice person, and he's the kind of guy that's not full of nonsense. He's actually kind, straight, but delivered some very important messages. And so I will share those with you guys so that you will save your breath. And what he says is, not having a better manual, i.e. the one that's non-existent, is an atrocity. Agreed. Yeah. And more training videos would save a lot of time. Agreed. And we have renewed vigor and priorities in that department. So I am certain to see some results from my partner here.
Yes.
And also, I'm trying to make more screen snippets for the simple features that everybody will use. So they are coming. But just so you know, it isn't like we ignored it and we're never going to surface it. We've freely acknowledged that that is a hole in something to be done. And does it look like spools of high voltage carrier line wire?
Oh, oops.
I want to say hi to everyone. Hey, Chris.
Hey,
right
everyone.
You want to tell them what's outside?
But there's snow outside actually.
What? Does that mean you're going to school tomorrow?
I might.
Really?
Well, I might not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Dad, I think our movie might be Spider-Man 3.
I could live with that. I
Okay.
could live with that. All right.
Anyways,
So we're going to get some chicken pot pie as part of that?
Sure. I love viewing world and goodbye.
Yes, I'm going to try and get a little family time tonight. So
Mhm.
they don't even know who I am anymore, hardly. I don't know who I am anymore, hardly. How could they know?
You've been. Anytime you spend more than 48 hours on a plane within 2 weeks, on planes in 2 weeks is ridiculous.
I see what you mean about Kalispell probably is warmer than Atlanta today.
Yeah, it is.
I like Kalispell. I think it's beautiful. The few times I've been there, it has been just awesome.
Is that near a glacier?
It's in Montana.
Okay, yeah. All right.
It's actually on the northwest end of Yellowstone.
Okay.
And and they have, it's just God's country up there. They have the mountains, I just loved it there. It really is. I mean, it's a very nice place.
Oh, you going, Jay? How do you feel that thing with filament? Well, first of all, you have to climb into the machine, and
No, actually, you don't.
I'm just messing.
Okay. Just so everyone knows, I'm not poking the wacky weed. A machine of that size is similar to the same problem of a machine of similar size, like going say 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet, or where someone's saying we can do 24, 24, 24. Obviously, one little filament would take you like 900 years to print a blob that big. So with a machine like that, the way we laid it out was with multiple print centers, and they all work together. So basically, there are numerous repeating print cells within that huge envelope, and each one is responsible for building in its area. And the collision avoidance software is one of the key points to coordinating the motions on all the heads.
Mm-hmm.
But they are able to overlap in their zones and create one large aggregate build, and at a pretty impressive speed, I might tell you.
Okay, well,
right? So
we don't need to go any further.
Keep milking the cow. We got more goodies. But anyway,
no,
that poor cow.
So, yeah.
Nice.
We actually found some people here in the United States that when they actually they can make us spools that are large enough.
Yeah.
So, which is going to be great.
We have 2 kg spools that we're evaluating, right?
Yep. Yes, we are.
So, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Now that we have print heads that are lasting in the multiple hundreds of hours, that actually makes a 2 kg spool a practicality. Yeah. So, good stuff is happening.
Okay.
All right, guys. We've been on about an hour and 15 minutes. So we've been trying to keep the broadcast in the hour range just because we
can go back to work.
Can go on forever, and I got a little work. Plus, I think I'm going to go spend a little family time. We appreciate everything you guys have offered and shared and supported. We are, as you can see, still grinding the axe everywhere.
Plugging away.
I don't know. Did they saw those there? I don't know if you guys can see in the shipping room, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 printers up there. Down below are 5 more System 30s. And in case David Geipa wants to know, yes, that's your printer sitting down there right next to the shipping door.
Yep.
And sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
So it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say painfully, but that's the way it is. We didn't sign up for a picnic, so there you go.